Hi guys, BroGunGo202 here, and welcome back to Why I Like. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've just been busy really, but obviously today's episode is Spider-Man. So I'm just going to clarify this first. I do like Spider-Man in general, obviously, even though I mostly seem to only use Tobey Maguire's representation of Spider-Man on my channel, but here I'm going to be explaining exactly my history with the entire character as a whole, but I'll probably be explaining mostly about stuff involving Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. But yeah, anyway, we'll just get straight into it. So where to begin, really? I remember the earliest memory I have of Spider-Man is actually the first movie, 2002. I remember having it on VHS for a little bit. I was watching it in my mum's room, I think, once. And the earliest memory I can recall is the final fight with the Green Goblin. I'm not sure why. I think I seem to have a lot of nostalgic memories of not the beginning of the film for a lot of movies. And for Spider-Man, it was the final fight with the Green Goblin, alongside the World Unity Festival. With the introduction of the Green Goblin. But I remember watching that on the VHS version, and then shortly after we got the DVD version of it. So the DVD menu for the first movie is actually quite nostalgic to me, but it wouldn't be my only introduction to Spider-Man, because on the TV that I was watching at the time, they were doing a rerun of the 1990s cartoon. I don't think it has an actual name, it's just Spider-Man from the 90s, I guess. And the saga that I remember watching a lot was the Man-Spider saga, where his mutation was getting quite strong and he grew 6 arms and became a mutant spider, which people are called Man-Spider. But yeah, those are really the earliest memories I can have of Spider-Man. I remember getting one of my very first Spider-Man figures, which was, it wasn't this, but it was when I was on holiday to Haven. I'm not sure exactly where it was. I think it was down south or something. But I remember getting a articulated Spider-Man figure and I could not stop playing with it. It's actually one of the reasons that fascinated me with figures like these, with like very articulated poses and parts. It had articulated fingers, toe joints, complete articulation in the legs, chests, rotatable head and everything. I've always been fascinated by those, but that's not what this video is about. But it was one of the earliest articulated toys I had. And really, just since then, I've been just occasionally bumping into Spider-Man stuff and enjoying it, really. I mean, I remember watching Spider-Man 3 on TV around 2009, 10-ish. And then The Amazing Spider-Man came out. Also watched that on television around 2012. I didn't watch Spider-Man 2 or The Amazing Spider-Man 2 for a long time. In fact, actually, I watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2 for the first time in the re-release cinema, alongside Homecoming as well. But yeah, by the time the MCU came out, I didn't really know much about how that was working, so I kind of just ignored Tom Holland's Spider-Man stuff. I mean, I knew he existed, but it didn't really catch my eye, to be honest. It's only until after No Way Home that I actually started to get back into Spider-Man. Because of, I started drawing him a lot, I started rewatching all the movies, finally watched Spider-Man 2, and yeah. Then Spider-Man No Way Home came out. I went to go see that with my sister, and I really enjoyed it. And then Christmas, shortly after, I then watched Far From Home. So it's kind of weird how my first Tom Holland movie was No Way Home, and then it went backwards on myself. So yeah, and then really ever since then I've been just been fascinated back with the franchise. Even gotten a few comics, and in fact, I even got a sealed 90s re-release of the Amazing Fantasy 15. I know it's not the original, but it's a 90s re-release because it's still got this special reprint on it. It's not been opened, and I plan to keep it like this, because I mean I can't just find the comics on the internet, but it's nice to own a version of the very first comic. It may not be the actual version, but it's a reprint, still in its sealed packaging with the 90s Spider-Man logo. But yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of which, for video game memories, my first and really only Spider-Man game I remember growing up with was Spider-Man Web of Shadows for the Nintendo Wii. I didn't really know much about what I was doing, but I just mostly liked swinging around the city and finding those spider collectible thingies. The funniest memory I have is mostly just going to the Empire State Building and then jumping off, and then you just face plants onto the ground. Just like that Spider-Man 3 meme. You know, he's just like, I'm going to die. It's hilarious. But yeah, obviously I always been fascinated with the memes, you know, like with Bully Maguire, Angry Garfield, etc. All those memes. I loved it. I even attempted a Spider-Man YouTube poop at one point, but after looking back at it after a while, it kind of felt not really much of a YouTube poop, but more of an edit kind of thing. So I've cancelled that, but yeah. Anyway, really there's not any other memories I can really think about for Spider-Man. He's just kind of been like an all-rounder appearance thing. Like, he's just occurred throughout my entire life, and I never really encountered much other superheroes. I mean, I didn't really see much of Batman, Superman. I did see Iron Man. I saw Iron Man 3 in cinema. I think it was actually one of the first movies I watched in cinemas. Was Iron Man 3. And I think if it wasn't for Spider-Man, I wouldn't have got into Iron Man, because I heard that there were some continuities that Iron Man and Spider-Man worked together with the Iron Spider armor. And it'd actually be one of my favorite Spider-Man suits because of it, the Iron Spider suit. So I clearly bought that in Fortnite when it came out. And that's what also convinced me to give Tom Holland a chance, because I liked Robert Downey Jr.'s take on Iron Man. So I eventually did, decide, you know what, I'm gonna check what he's doing, and then I went to go see No Way Home and such, even though that was after Endgame and such. I was busy playing Fortnite at the time, so I didn't bother with Avengers and such. But yeah, so really, for Spider-Man, I've just really grown up with being entertained with it in all kinds, like the cartoons, comics, games, toys, and yeah, and really now Spider-Man is just kind of a thing I like to look back on. It's a nice thing to have a good memory with, and I have all the DVDs. I managed to see all the movies in cinemas. I mean, I've got the Funko Pops, got figures of each of the three main ones. Not their best ones, but I mean, this is probably my best toy I ever play with because of the articulation, and he's just really cool. I mean, like, watch, like, and I did not mean to do that, but yeah, it's just like, she's just got great articulation. A bit loose though. And yeah, I've got the Amazing Spider-Man 2's there and there, but his legs popping off, and I've got I think it's either it is a SH Figuarts or it's a rip-off third-party SH Figuarts of the Iron Spider suit from the MCU. But however, one of the spider limbs for the back is comes off very easily, so I don't really use that. But yeah, really yeah, it's just been really entertaining for me. So why exactly do I like Spider-Man? Well, to be honest, really, I think it's just because it was just something I was young at the time, and I just saw it, and it just something that caught my eye, and I just glued onto it. Because, I mean, I was never really fascinated with superheroes. Even during, like, World Book Days at school and everything, I would only mention, like, stuff like, Sonic or Spider-Man. Because really, those were the only, like, heroes I could think of. I wasn't even that creative not to make my own superhero at once. I had a little competition to make your own superhero. I couldn't do it, because I wasn't into it much. But really, it's mostly, Spider-Man and such that, I liked. But I think, after rewatching the movies in cinema, I've understood exactly why I understand this franchise now as an adult compared to when I was as a kid. Is obviously because his Peter Parker's lifestyle can be very relatable to multiple people. Not just, you know, like, I mean, like, you can't actually become Spider-Man, but I mean, like, his lifestyle and how he has to deal with it and such. And it makes it very impactful watching it as a kid as a grown-up compared to a kid. So rewatching Spider-Man 2 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and No Way Home, it was very impactful for me. But yeah, I would get the tickets, but I don't know where they are. I put them somewhere, but I forgot where I put them. But yeah. So really, I will say this though, my favorite Spider-Man movie would be Spider-Man 1 from 2002, just because primarily it's the one I've watched the most, and really I just get the most enjoyment, because I mean, Willem Dafoe is great as the Green Goblin, and early movies have a more nostalgic feel, so it's mostly because of nostalgia it's my favorite. But yeah, I mean think about it, like, I grew up when the PlayStation 3 era began, and I still didn't buy it, because even though it had the Spider-Man 3 font for the time, I didn't know much about that stuff. I think I was off Spider-Man at that point, but still. I did recognize it as the Spider-Man font. I didn't recognize it as PlayStation 3, but they're both made by Sony, so it made sense. But yeah. So nothing really much else I can say, really. It's a bit unfortunate that I'm not good at explaining this kind of things, but maybe I might redo these in the future. But for now, I hope that this helped you understand exactly why I like them. So primarily it's just because, like, I grew up with him, and really he's the only superhero that is like the most relatable, and he's just the most fun to look at. I mean, swinging through the city is a very cool feat to do if you could actually do that, you know? Like, basically fighting gravity and such. And I managed to find this figure at a market like nearly a year ago now, and it says it's 2003, but from what it looks like a 2004 Spider-Man 2 model. So I'm guessing they released a few Spider-Man 2 sets before the movie came out, or something. But I mean, it recently celebrated its 20th anniversary for Spider-Man 2, so that was cool. But yeah. So unfortunately, there's not much else I can really say. But for my opinions, go check out all the Spider-Man movies, check out the 90s cartoon, and if you want to see really the origins, check out the 60s cartoon as well. And of course, the Spider-Verse trilogy when that happens and such. And he's a great superhero. He's like the Batman of Marvel. I mean, he is the most popular superhero for a reason. But yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed me discussing it. Too bad it wasn't a good explanation, but I'm sure at least you guys can understand. So yeah. Also, I do want to apologize that it's taken like nearly or just over a month since the last Why I Like video. I've been preoccupied a lot lately. Been a big change. So thank you guys for being patient if you guys were waiting. Expect the next few, or was it 2 more? How much is left? 1, 2, 2 more left. So expect those soon. I was uploading them on an 8-day basis, but since there's been like a month since then, I'm just gonna upload them when I do them. So yeah. So that's it from me today. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, Pro's gotta go, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.